So, good morning everyone. My name is Joshua Burlaza and I am from BTLT28. So, what is corporation? So for me, a corporation is a legal entity that is separate and distinct from its owners. So, corporations enjoy most of the rights and responsibilities that an individual possesses. That is, a corporation has the right to enter into contract, loan and borrow money, sue and be sued, hire employees, own assets, and pay taxes. So the most important aspect of a corporation is limited liability. Take note for that. So that is, shareholders have the right to participate in the profits through dividends and the appreciation of stock, but are not held personally liable for the company's debts. So, a corporate structure is perhaps the most advantageous way to start a business because the corporation exists as a separate entity. So, in general, a corporation has all the legal rights of an individual except for the right to vote and certain other limitations. So, corporations are given the right to exist by the state that issues their charter. If you incorporate in one state to take advantage of liberal corporate laws but do business in other state, you'll have to file for qualification in the state in which you wish to operate the business. Excuse me. There's usually a fee that must be paid to quality to do business in a state. What sets the corporation apart from all other types of business is that a corporation is an independent legal entity, separate from the people who own, control, and manage it. In other words, corporation and tax laws view the corporation as a legal person that can enter into contract, incur debts, and pay taxes apart from its owners. Other important characteristics also result from the corporation's separate existence. A corporation does not dissolve when its owners or shareholders change or die, and the owners of a corporation have limited liability. So, that is corporation. Another thing, a corporation is a legal entity created by an individual, stockholders, or shareholders with the purpose of operating for profit. Corporations are allowed to enter into contracts, sue and be sued, own assets, remit federal and state taxes, and borrow money from financial institutions. A form of business operation that declares business as a separate legal entity guided by a group of officers known as the board of directors. So that is the corporation. So now, let's move on. So here are the examples of corporations in the Philippines. So as you can see, there's a Jollibee, San Miguel Corporation, Robinson, and Sun Life. So those are the examples of corporation here in the Philippines. So the next one. What is the advantages and disadvantages of corporation? So first, let us know what are the advantages of corporation. So personal liability protection, access to capital, and tax benefits. So personal liability protection. It is a corporation provides more personal asset liability protection to its owners than any other entity type. For example, if a corporation is sued, the shareholders are not personally responsible for corporate debts or legal obligations, even if the corporation does have enough money and assets for payment. Personal liability protection is one of the main reason business choose to incorporate. So that is the advantages. So the next one is access to capital. Since the most corporation sell ownership through publicity, traded stock, they can easily raise funds by selling stock. This access to funding is a luxury that other entity types don't have. It is great not only for growing a business, but also for saving corporation from going bankrupt in times of need. So they can access a capital. The next one is tax benefits. Although some corporations are subject to double taxation, other corporation structure have tax benefits depending on how their income is distributed. So let us move on to disadvantages. So disadvantages: double taxation, expensive, lengthy application process. So let us know first double taxation. So most corporations face double taxation, which means that the business income is taxed at the entity level as well as the shareholders level. So the next one is expensive. So it was so expensive. Corporations are expensive to form and operate. It might be easy for established corporations to raise capital by selling shares, but forming and maintaining a corporation can be costly. You will likely need a lot of startup capital to get a corporation running. In addition to paying the filing charges, ongoing fees, and larger taxes. So it was so expensive. The next one is lengthy application process. Filing your articles of incorporation with your Secretary of State can be quick. But the overall process of incorporating is often a long one. You will likely have to go through extensive paperwork to properly determine and document the details of organization and its ownership. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of corporation. That's all.